Okay.
All right, so let's go. So Gary, I think we haven't covered this in a while. I think I wrote this. We wrote the article about the Tatala in 2017, and about like y'all joining the journey, and it's like y'all have gone back several times, and then there was the pandemic, and then like so how has that relationship developed, and how's like things?
So
like,
yeah, even though we've like suffered through the pandemic, we've kept our relationship with the American natives and our canoe family from the Nisqually tribe. We've kept the lines of communication open. So this year we hope to return for our fourth journey, and our first one since 2019. So we're going to this year be bringing a group of Indigenous young people together, hopefully at the University of Washington. But we're looking forward to bringing our own youth ambassador, maybe one, maybe more than one, to this year's journey, and let them experience what it's like for the American Native culture.
Right. Yeah. So is this your first time bringing the youth ambassador? Like before it was.
Yeah. We brought some young people before, but just over the last few years, we've developed this youth ambassador program.
Okay.
So we hope to develop that further and also grow it throughout not only Taiwan and not only America, but right now we're working on one in the Philippines and throughout the Austronesian community. We're working with Tuvalu, Nauru, and we have a representative also in Hawaii. Our organization is actually registered in, it's a 501(c) registered in Washington State, Florida, and Hawaii. So we're, over the last couple of years, we've made a lot of strides and are trying to keep things held together, even though the pandemic greatly affected our organization. So.
Yeah. So what kind of like, what were some memorable things from the previous trips that you like?
From past journeys?
Yeah, from past journeys.
I can right off the bat. There's a couple that come to mind. When we were there in 2018, one of our members from Lanyu, he got to paddle the canoe, and so he went on the canoe for 8 hours straight, even though the other people on the canoe, they all like traded off and stuff like that, but he stayed on he did the whole journey on the canoe. And when they got finished and came back to camp and stuff, it was like our canoe family, other members of our canoe family, they were like patting him on the back and like, hey, yeah, man, you like, that's really great, you got it, It's like, wow, impressive, So that was one thing that I found kind of interesting. And the other thing was, one time we were there and someone walked up to me and he goes, oh, Taiwan, it's just, you guys, you know that movie Warriors of the Rainbow? And I'm going, Warriors of the Rainbow? It's like, what's that? And he goes, that movie about the Indigenous and the Japanese. I go, oh, you mean Sidek Ballet? And he goes, oh yeah, that movie. And he goes, oh, wow, I can't believe that you guys know about it. And they're going like, wow, it's like they really showed the Japanese and this and that and yada yada. It's like I'm going, my God, they know more about the movie than I do, And then it turns out that the guy that was the chief, the star of the movie, he's a friend of mine. He's a pastor at a church up in Fusan. Yeah, so hopefully he will go on the journey one of these days. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So what are your hopes for this time? Like bringing,
this year, basically, what we want to do is we want to reconnect with our canoe family over there and our organizational groups. We have what we call action group chats. And so the people in America are in one particular group chat. So we hope to connect with those people, also connect with some other youth ambassadors from different tribes, and there's some schools in the Pacific Northwest. One's called the Madrona Madrona School. I'm not sure, Madrona School or something, and they're like a youth-orientated college for Indigenous. So we want to try to make some connections there, and then we want to set the groundwork for next year, when we're going to have like a fairly large contingent, because we're trying to put together a group of Austronesians to take part. That's why we've made contact with the Nauru, with Tuvalu. Hopefully the Marshall Islands will join us, Palau, and just anyone, maybe Guam, some of these, like we're reaching out to all the Austronesian, with the hope of actually having maybe in 2025 an Austronesian reunion here in Taiwan, where we bring all these different vessels from these different countries. After they left Taiwan, they all developed their own sailing sails or their sailing craft, and so hopefully that we'll be able to bring some of those here to Taiwan and sail around Taiwan, kind of make it an international event for Austronesians, like the Austronesian reunion, basically. So we're looking forward to doing that. Also, there's one thing I'm really trying to get together is there's a Maori hukala. That's the Maori sailing ship. They're in Alaska right now. And they're going to be sailing from there to Seattle. And then they're going to that's the start of a 2-year journey, which will bring them to Taiwan in 2025. And so I'm hoping that we can coordinate this reunion with that coming to Taiwan.
Yeah.
And also I've been trying to contact them, trying to coordinate their travel to Seattle so that they could be there at the same time. On July 30th, when we land in Seattle, there'll be over 100 canoes from all around the Pacific Northwest. And so if that thing was that group was to join us, I think it'd be a pretty great event, pretty powerful message, and it would really enhance not only the journey, but their journey as well. So
Right. Wow. Yeah, were you gonna bring a Tatala over?
This year we were planning on doing it, but things just didn't get worked out. It's still in South Carolina, so as soon as we get the facilitate the move and that stuff, we're going to be bringing it over. But probably next year is going to be a better year than this year, because we'll have a lot more people, and a lot wider range of people from different places. So having that would be a pretty powerful message that we could bring to the journey. So
yeah, bringing the whole like Austronesian kind of like.
So and also this gentleman that I know from the Marshall Islands, he also wants to bring one of his ships there, one of his boats.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So.
And actually, if I'm not mistaken, they're actually building one of those in the University of Washington. So there may also, they have a maritime museum there. And so they have, like, I was in their warehouse, and they have hundreds and hundreds of canoes and boats of all types. It's really impressive.
Cool. And so what's going on with the Tatala and the Burke Museum? Is it going to stay there, or are they going to do like a ceremony or something?
Basically, that Tatala is like it was their primary display when you entered the building.
Oh.
It was like the first thing that you see as you walk right in, and it's hanging on the wall with a lot of artifacts from Taiwan and stuff. So it has had a pretty prevalent positioning there. So yeah, and the people at the Burke Museum, they're all quite interested in. And they actually have a lot of people that are from Taiwan that work in there. And most of those people are part of our organization as well. So
cool. All right. Think anything else you want to say about the journey or the program or anything? Like that?
Basically, we hope to make it, and we'll see everyone in the States on July 23rd, and we'll be joining the journey. And we hope to get there by promoting our journey for benefit concert out in Beto at the Master Football Academy on July 9th, starting at 3 o'clock. So if anyone wants to come out and join us, feel free.
All right. And are y'all doing the whole journey, or just
No,
like
our family, canoe family, because the ending is so close to where they start usually. They usually, when that situation arises, they like will pack up their canoes and they'll go to some other place and then come back. So this year they're going out on the Olympic Peninsula to a place called Elwha. And so that's where we'll kind of catch up to them, and then there'll be 6 days until we get to Seattle. So we'll make 6 different stops.
Right. Okay.
Should be fun.
Yeah. So that's gonna be with all the other canoes as well.
Actually, when you get on the journey, they come from different places, and then they kind of converge. So if you come in from Alaska, from Vancouver Island, where the people from Alaska they fly down to there and bring their use someone's boat and something, because they have people that come from Alaska, and then they will cross over to Port Angeles across the Strait of Juan de Fuca. Then the people on the Washington coast, they'll come up around the Olympic Peninsula, and then they'll go down to Seattle on the same route. So they kind of converge in Port Angeles for those 2 groups. Then there's some groups that come from Canada, Vancouver area. So those people, they will go down the what they call the I-5 corridor, which is basically down the coast of the inner coast of Puget Sound, basically.
Right.
So there's 5 or 6 different stops that they make along to all the different tribes in that area and stuff. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Sounds pretty neat.
And it's a great experience, and anybody that goes on it is they come away with the same kind of feeling that I had from doing it. It's like, wow, this is cool.
Cool.
So hopefully Howard and Corrine will be able to go and experience it, and then we'll see what they say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we can do a follow-up afterwards.
Sure.
But yeah,
Thank
thanks
you.
Yeah. All right. Looking forward to the concert. And,
I'm not going to say that you're playing.
No.